Welcome to ADHD Energy Strategy Live. This is a monthly community call for ADHD adults. In this space, we share real life through the lens of ADHD energy budgeting, what costs you, what credits you, and how to build margin. You're about to hear from one of the shares in the room during our last call. I did invite Lela here to share. I see her here. Are you in the car, Lela?
Yeah, I'm going to a Mavs game tonight, so I wanted to make sure that I'm present, of course. But yeah, don't mind me unless I'm echoing, and then I'll change my audio for you.
Okay, thank you so much. You look beautiful as
Oh,
always.
thanks.
So I invited Lela here to be the first sharer of the night. Of course, anyone can share at any point. Literally, just write share in the comments, and we will make sure that we get to you. If you'd like to chime in and maybe share something with me and Lela, let's hear about it. Lela, I'm so curious. So it's your birthday week. Can we just say happy birthday to Lela?
Yeah, it is.
And is this
Thanks.
one of your gifts to yourself, the Mavs game?
No, this is a gift my husband gave to himself that I stole. He's in
Ah,
sales, and so
nice.
he buys an extra ticket for, his customers, right? But
Yeah.
I usually just go.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I love it. Well, happy birthday week. I'm so
Thank
excited
you.
for your birthday.
Yeah.
I am so curious. So I shared with you a little bit about the word, and then of course, as always, we've got a happy birthday from Ashley.
Oh,
Um,
thanks, Ashley.
anything that's coming up in your life that, energetically that you want to share, the drains. You've had a lot shift in your life. I won't tell anybody what's going on or
Yeah.
what's shifted, but I'd love to just open it up to you.
Yeah. I was talking to my husband about this, about how I needed to sit in the car for 20 minutes to have this conversation with you. So I think that now, as in January 28th, I'm in a much better energy space than I was in November. I had reached out to you, and I'm just so incredibly just appreciative of our friendship and the
Mm.
vulnerability and your monthly newsletters. I know I always send you a screenshot about how much it resonates with me, but really and truly, they're just so always on point and on time with my life. But back in November, I got laid off from my role. I was in a director role for a startup, and I was kind of clueless on like what to do next. So I was fortunate and privileged enough to go to Saudi Arabia the next week on vacation with my husband and just kind of detox the assumed failure. And I say assumed because no
Yeah.
one had shared that with me, right? Layoffs happen all the time, regardless of performance. But I had just assumed that I had failed in that role. And so I had just taken it so hard. So, anyway, fast forward to this week. I'm just in a much better place. And one of the things that I talked about with you, of course, is resting. And I've never had that availability in my life just to rest and not do anything. And I remember talking to Vicky about it too, who she's on the call, and calling her, and she provided me some insight of a similar time that she was in about how, you'll never get this rest period again. So really lean
Yeah.
into it. And I remember I think it was your last newsletter. And forgive me if I'm misquoting. You shared something about resetting, and I loved it and I really enjoyed it. But I think I'm going to take it even, I guess, a step backward. I'm not even trying to reset for my next opportunity. I'm doing nothing. And that's so crazy
Yeah.
for me because I've always been so busy. And one of the things that I really liked about your last newsletter that came out was, what are you really trying to kind of give up in 2026? And I think that's performance in general. I think we're in this life of, I have to be busy. My calendar needs to be full. I need to continue these relationships that don't serve me, or even like the need to accept people, things, places, ideas, relationships that aren't reciprocal just to
Mm.
say, I'm doing something. And I can say that I was guilty of it. Like, oh, let me show up because I'm supposed
Yeah.
to. And I think after I got laid off, I told my inner onion of friends, right? My close circle. And I told
Yeah.
them like, oh, you're not going to be hearing for me for a little bit. And the ones that got it, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely an energy shift in January compared to November. So super happy.
Mm. Oh, I love everything that you're saying. And it is so funny because when you shared with me the shifts that were happening in your life, I was feeling that for mine. I'm still feeling it. I'm
Yeah.
still feeling the shed, the shed of things. And I got addicted to it. I'm so addicted
Yeah.
to running light, and finding, yes, Mark, I see you smiling. I cannot wait to hear from you, Mark. By the way, I'm so stoked that you're here. Mark is one of my great friends, also host of Holy Unapologetic. I'll get to that in a minute, but Lela, I am so glad that you're here.
Thanks.
Something that I really love that you talk about too is like, the idea of identity shedding.
Mm,
It is hard to let go of these things that have made us feel like we are safe, the scaffolding, if you will, of
facts.
of life. And what does it mean if I don't? And who am I when? Nice girl detox and main character coach. I mean, like it was
Yeah.
really hard for me to let go of these things that I just honestly felt like didn't make sense in the way that they're being presented with what is happening with
Yeah.
this work, and so
Hmm.
allowing that to shift and move, for me was really huge. And so I really relate to you talking about releasing and also going inward. The whole I literally went basically offline from November to
Yeah.
like right into January.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today whenever you're looking at the life ahead in terms of like the word you used was performance and what you're not resetting to, basically like new foundations. Where's your head?
Yeah.
Where's your heart there?
Yeah. Um, Forgive me if I'm jumping around, but again,
You're with a
mentioning
bunch of
your
ADHDers, like we
yeah,
will follow you.
100%. Yeah. I keep on prefacing your newsletters because again, they're always on point. So
Thank you.
the newsletter that was the word practice, right? And then calling out that one word. Equanimity is the word of the year for me.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yes. And to answer your question, right, with your newsletter answer, equanimity and just being able to be stoic and still and okay regardless of the outcome. And I think that a lot of times, we are okay with receiving the good, of course, but like after the good happens, then what was always my answer. And I wasn't stoic in
Yeah.
those moments. So whenever I do receive a new job offer or whatever good comes to mind, right? Having that same stoicism that I expect out of myself if bad news comes around the corner. I think that life lifes all the time. And my husband says, as soon as you find out different information, you're allowed to pivot and change your mind. But the mental capacity that I have shouldn't feed my day or my progress regardless of the news that I'm receiving. So equanimity has been it's actually my screensaver on my phone.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so exciting. And just the idea too of there's some themes that are happening in my life that are very like close with what you're saying. Almost the idea too that there's a word that I want to use. I'll say validation. I'm not sure that's
Yeah.
exactly the right word for me right now, but the idea that we can be sovereign beings without the input of other people, like
Yeah.
expression for expression's sake, existing for existing's sake, joy
Hmm.
for joy's sake, play for play's sake, like I feel like those things very much are coming up in my life. And so when you
Yeah.
use the word stoic, I also love the idea that it's like, you know, the truth of it all. You know what I mean? Just letting
Yeah.
it be right here, right with
Yeah.
us, without a
Absolutely.
lot of layers. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
that's really cool. So have you seen it playing out in your life so far, equanimity?
Yes, I received a few job offers. And super blessed. Like the market is crazy. So
Yeah.
getting a job offer after only a month of applying, like I feel really good, but not everything is always meant to be. And I think that having that control on my side of knowing not to jump on the first thing that's provided or available. And so that equanimity of being stoic and understanding my surroundings of everything will be okay if you don't accept this item. And I'm talking about my job because that's the recent chapter of my life. But whatever it is, again, going back to relationships or friendships or business dealings, if it doesn't sit good with your soul, if you constantly have to revisit it as, am I really supposed to be here? I just don't want to question it, right? I just want to feel really good about it and walk into that next door without any doubt or what ifs.
Yeah, like an inner steadiness. There's like a do you know like can you pinpoint in this moment like I know the difference of when I am steady
Yeah.
like when I am not, do you are you feeling into this word too, or has it changed the way that you're feeling
Yeah.
into alignment?
I think discernment has always ran through my bones. I have a
Yeah.
mom that's prayed up. So I know that my ancestors have prayed over my life, long before I was even a thought. So I'll always be okay. And I also have a really, really good core group of friends that I am very vulnerable with and
Mm,
share. And so their opinion means a lot to me. So sharing with them my doubts and troubles, I receive their feedback and really take that to heart because I know that they're honestly looking out for the best of me and for me.
mm,
And I will have to say, like, my husband is just the most incredible person ever to exist. I mean, genuinely and truly, I'm obsessed with him. And so
mm.
every single time I'm in that self doubt or just going back and forth, we go through an entire exercise of pros and cons and why nots and what ifs, to where if it doesn't make sense logically, I know I'm not supposed to do it. But for him, he points out when, my fingers are tapping or I'm flipping my hair a little bit, or if,
Yeah. Oh,
and he's letting me
yeah.
know, like, hey, you're nervous, or I see it in you to where you're not as excited as the other times I've seen you excited. And then it makes me look back and say, huh, like, thanks for being my mirror.
Yeah, gosh, having steady people in your life, woo, makes a big difference. And I cannot I cannot agree with you more. And also, I just want to say you are one of those people in so many people's lives as well. I could feel it the moment that I met you. Like
Mm,
I honestly feel like I am a intuitive, vibey, like picking up of things person. And it was like this really grounded, solid energy when I met you. And I was like, I dig
thank
this
you.
person. And
Yeah.
then, of course, obviously, you have just time and time again, when no one's watching, you demonstrate what it looks like to show up for yourself and other people. And I just love you. And I'm so happy it's your
Oh,
birthday week. I
oh,
just am
thanks.
celebrating the hell out of you, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think like showing up for other people is so important. I mean, life is so short, and I think that this last week has just shown us like how fragile life is. So like I just want to
Yeah.
do good for other people, whatever that looks
Yeah.
like. And so
Mm.
I just appreciate you calling that out because I really, really try.
You do. There's no trying. It is happening.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I know that I want to honor your time. You said 20 minutes, right? And then
Yeah.
you got to get into the Mavs game.
Yeah, I do. But yeah, I
Okay.
appreciate I appreciate this time allowing me to be vulnerable. Let me know if you need anything. And I'm excited for the February event as well, where I'll be speaking at Women Already Connected on Valentine's Day, if anyone is available and in
Yeah.
Dallas.
And I'll link Women Already Connected. I'll just pull that up and link it
Oh, perfect.
below too. So if anybody is interested, you can check it out there too. But also you can email me. It's Mo
Yeah.
at ADHDenergystrategy.com, and I'll just literally send you the info.
Yeah.
Just linked it. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Enjoy your game. Happy birthday
Thanks.
week.
All right. Bye. Love you so much. Love you,
I
everyone
love
else
you
too.
too. We'll
Bye.
see you.
Energy strategy in my own design. Shaking off the scripts they wrote in my mind. ADHD rhythm in my stride. Energy budget holding me aligned.